Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Just before we do, because I'm really excited to be here with Omar from the Jordan Tourism Board, please mute your phones. It really makes it for a much better listening experience. We want to make sure that we hear everything he has to say, and he's so gracious to take the time to be with us today. So if you could just all make sure that you are on mute, that would be wonderful. And of course, we have the chat open for all of your questions. So as we go forward and as we have this lovely back and forth,
and get over it. Yeah, it's like one more day. I mean, I think
type your questions in the chat and we'll get to as many as possible. So once again, just quick, make sure that you're on mute. We really appreciate it. And again, we appreciate your time and having you join us today. So I am here with Omar Banihani. Did I say that the right way?
No, you completely botched it.
I know, I usually do.
No, it's actually pretty good. It's Omar Banihani.
There we go. Okay, I will get that for the next time. But he is flying the flag for Jordan today. We're really, really happy to have him here because it's a destination that I know a lot of you are intrigued by. I certainly am. I have been. It's time for me to go back, and it really is just a wondrous, small little country that packs an enormous punch as far as diversity and things that you can do there. It's unbelievable. So welcome. First, why don't you just say a quick hello, introduce yourself to anyone that may not know who you are. So go right ahead.
Yes, Gabriela, thank you for having me today. I appreciate the time. My name is Omar Banihani. I'm the marketing manager for Jordan Tourism Board North America, and I'm a champion for travel advisors. And I have been doing this for 13 plus years, and we're happy and excited to be open for travel. So the day that we've been talking about for over a year now, that we're going to be coming back, that we're going to be coming back strong, is upon us now. So
certainly, tell us what life is on the ground like in Jordan. What happens day to day? I mean, what kind of protocols, and how is life just
yeah, life went back to normal. We obviously had to go through all the things that all countries had to do with the lockdowns and wearing masks and all these good things that we've gotten so used to now. Things are great in Jordan now. Business is as usual. Of course, still we're taking all the precautions. You still have to take a PCR test before you arrive, and if you're vaccinated, you're going to be exempt soon as well. Just the regular, really, nothing different than many other destinations. Just the good thing about Jordan is that we are open for business, for travel from the world, especially North America. And we've already seen a lot of bookings coming in from the US and Canada specifically. So very exciting news for us, very exciting news for you guys. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here to chat Jordan, talk about what's going on. And again, Gabriela, thank you for having me here. And again, for all the travel advisors that are on today. Good to see many of you that I know already and have been with. And a lot of you have actually been with me in Jordan before. And we had some lovely times and shared some great memories. So I'm very happy to be here with you guys today. So thank you, Gabriela, and looking forward to this chat.
Absolutely. So talk to me about the ideal, if you had to do an avatar for the typical, the absolute, ideal traveler for Jordan, who would that be?
The ideal traveler to Jordan, I could tell you historically who they are. We did a research in 2016. It was a very in-depth qualitative and quantitative research, and from the US and Canada. And what we discovered is actually pretty simple. Some things are, so the traveler that goes to Jordan is somebody that has a bachelor's degree at least, lives within 45 minutes to an hour from a major international airport, and they have traveled internationally before. So Jordan is not necessarily the first place they would want to go to overseas, but for the seasoned traveler, Jordan is definitely a huge draw. Another really good one is if you work with clients. I believe somebody there's some echo. If you don't mind, muting, please. Thank you. So for if you have clients that go to, let's say, Africa, Asia, so long haul destinations, those clients are also very highly. They would highly be able to go to Jordan and enjoy a visit there. But these are really who they are. And now we also have the age groups are 18 to 35 or 34 with disposable income. You have people that are 45 plus with a lot of time off and also disposable income that go to Jordan. So that's really kind of the, you know, the let's say research backed data. But obviously, I feel everybody wants to go, and everybody should be going. Petra is one of the world's 7 wonders. Jordan is a bucket list destination. People want to go and see it. And not just Petra. There's so much more in the country. Wadi Rum is one of the most Instagrammable places in Jordan, and is also, you know, also in the world, a place where it's just a mesmerizing desert, and people really, really enjoy visiting Wadi Rum. Of course, there's a million things to do in Jordan. There are thousands of archaeological sites and great cultural experiences in the country as well. So, but that's what's traveled into Jordan. A lot of the people that are here with us today understand that. That's something that we've been talking about for years. And the travel advisor understands who will go to Jordan and who won't. And the data also says that was back in 2016, which we're a lot, you know, we got to a great point in 2019. It was a record year for Jordan for travel. But what we say sometimes is if your client is a little hesitant about going to Jordan, there are way more people that want to go. The potential traveler number to Jordan, the people that would travel every year to Jordan from the US alone, is around 900,000 American citizens. That's what the data showed. What we capture is about 250,000 per year. That was the usual. Of course, this is pre-COVID and hopefully will be post-COVID and maybe even more. But that's just to understand that there's huge potential from the US and from Canada. It's just that we need to tap into those people that want to travel to Jordan.
All right, so I'm about immersive experiences and not just, you mentioned the monuments and the wonderful natural sites, but how Absolutely. Am I, if I'm that kind of person and I want to talk to people and I want to taste foods and I want to mix with locals, how am I going to get the most out of my next visit to Jordan? What kind of off the grid experiences would you recommend?
That's actually something that we've done a lot of development on, not just as a tourism board, but as a destination in general. I think it was the country, the government, but then also a lot of local communities, you know, gathered and did some more work on that. We kept hearing experiential travel. We kept hearing off the beaten path. We kept hearing all these things. One thing actually that happened is that we did some research, right? And to get some insights as well a few years back. And it was when people, before they travel to Jordan, the dreaming phase, right? Before they book, they think of Jordan as the place where I'm going to go see Petra. You know, it's on my bucket list, or if it's on my list of places to see, and the Dead Sea and Wadi Rum and so forth. And they're very excited about that. And then when they're there, they get immersed in the experience and in the country. When they come back, we ask them, what was the highlight? And they say the people. So that said, that gave us an insight. So what we did is we did something, we worked on something called the Meaningful Travel Map. We partnered with Tourism Cares and many others as well on the ground to make it happen. And what it was is actually very simple. These were social enterprises that offer great, lovely Jordanian local experiences, be it food or handicrafts, lodging, and many more. They existed. What we did is, you know, we did a marketing thing around it where we just packaged it up and said, this is the Meaningful Travel Map of Jordan. And it gained a lot of great, it became very popular. And people, you know, travelers as well as travel advisors were very, very excited about it and actually started booking it. And that's a beautiful part of it, is that it's bookable experiences. These are small groups, groups in those experiences. It's not a mass tourism experience. So Off the Beaten Path is the Meaningful Travel Map, which you can go to it at golocalJordan.com, find all that information. But there's also two other things that I wanted to mention quickly. Is the Jordan Trail has done amazing things. What it does is it takes you through over 50 local villages from the north to the south, and you could do parts of it. You could do the whole thing. It takes about 40 plus days to do the whole trail, but you could do parts of it. And what's so great about it is it's managed by the locals, homestays, local guides, and you get to walk through history of Jordan on that trail. That's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And the last one is the Jordan Bike Trail, which also does very similar, it takes a similar path down the country, but on mountain biking. So something that's really exciting as well. So a lot of development happened in the country from that perspective, the experiential travel, the immersive travel. I said this in an article I wrote last week in Travel Weekly, and I said, this is what travel advisors want. And this is what the clients want. And the travel advisors have been great. They've actually been asking about these things. And I salute you all for that. But we need to, as an industry, start working a little bit more on ensuring that these opportunities are offered, so the travel advisor can grab it and give it to their clients, and also, actually contribute to the goodness of what this industry can have, and make help places like Jordan thrive.
Yeah, you make a huge point, because I think, a lot of people always forget that so many people on the ground, the guides, the shop owners, all of these people haven't worked in months to over a year.
Absolutely.
Haven't had anything meaningful. So I always find it really important to also, book with it, for consumers to book with an advisor, but also for advisors to book with a DMC, because they know the local knowledge more than anyone. They're living it, they're breathing it. They know the places that you'll never find, or that are totally ungoogleable. And that's really what makes the difference between an experience. So I'm 100% on board with that. We have a few questions before we go on, so I just want to throw them at you. Okay, I know that you mentioned entry requirements. So somebody has asked, if you are vaccinated, do you still need a PCR test on arrival?
I will be sharing. So if you go to, so I want to answer that question with you just get a PCR test, and I think very soon they're going to be saying you're not going to need a PCR test if you're vaccinated and you show proof. However, just because how quickly these things change, what I would like to recommend for everybody here is www.myjordanjourney.com. I'm going to type it in the chat box, and that has a page that says COVID update. We do update that every day. So if there's anything that's updated, it will be there. So things will change. You understand that everybody's doing the same thing. So we got to work together on that. So everything you need is always going to be on the website, myjordanjourney.com. And in there, you can get all the information you need timely. And you can also share it with your clients if they're traveling. But yes, things are open. Basically, you could travel to Jordan anytime you want and back. You got to always make sure that you understand the procedures in the country of origin. So also leaving from the US or Canada, you need to understand how things are returning back as well. I believe in the US, you probably still need to get a negative PCR test. But again, these things will continue to evolve. I believe we're just going back to a normal standard procedure down the line, but still, we can't shy away from what's happening with COVID, but things are easy, they're streamlined. I wouldn't be worried about that at all.
Yeah, they certainly are fluid. So I think we're all used to that. Okay, we've got a couple of DMs of people saying they've got clients, or they're booking already, or they have booked. So shout out to all of you. That's great.
Love that. Thank you.
Dennis asks, what is the optimal length of time to experience Jordan? Now think in terms of an American traveler who has no time. What's the optimal time length?
Okay, I will say this. So optimal is the word that you used, right? So optimal, I would say 7 to 8 days. That's optimal, because optimal to me means you're going to see the main highlights. You're going to feel like you went to Jordan, came back, and you saw the country. That would be optimal. But if you stay 14 days, you get to have an immersive experience in the country and actually not feel like you're rushed. Is 5 nights doable? Yes. I don't recommend it, but it's doable. You get to see just the main highlights pretty quickly, but you can still enjoy visiting Jordan. So that would be my recommendation. But it looks like also from the data that we have is that 8 days, 7 nights is the usual booking to Jordan. That's the average. Yeah, there are lots of great itineraries out there as well that you can look at. And of course, if you ever need any help, you know how to reach me. A lot of you know my email, my number, my everything. So please call.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do
email.
me a favor when you're done, drop your email again in the chat because I have several DMs asking that. So just drop that in when you can. I have a question. Tourists that are coming from Israel to Jordan, can they get back into Israel? From
Israel to Jordan back into Israel. I believe so, yes. I think they opened the border just recently. But that's something also you have to check with the Israeli authorities to see what their procedures are, right? So this is how it's been very tricky during COVID and now post-COVID as well, is not being responsible for the other country's response to it and how they're working with it. It seems like everything is fine. However, I would highly recommend that you communicate with the tourism boards at the moment. It's it's a very crucial time for everybody to communicate with the tourism boards, just so we can keep giving you up-to-date information and just make sure that you know and understand what is happening on the ground. But yeah, I would check with the Israelis as well and just see what their situation is. But in Jordan, it's fine. You enter and you leave as you wish.
Perfect. Okay. And I know that you are very, very focused on sustainable travel and sustainable efforts. So I'd love for you to share a few words about what that means, not even just for, as it relates to Jordan, but as we move forward and how we're going to travel very differently in the future.
Yeah. So what I would say is the following, and this has been an idea that's been on my mind for a while now. And I've discovered this a few years back, but I think it's been reinforced recently, which is, okay, the travel advisor is the one talking to the travelers, right? They're the ones that are out there talking to them, booking them their experiences, creating custom-made itineraries, right? The travel advisors, like to give their travelers more value. That's the entire business. The business is how much value are you providing your traveler? That's why you're in business. That's why you continue to get more travelers. And we understand that. And I think everybody should understand that even better. And the industry is relying on the travel advisor. They are. I mean, they're the backbone of this industry, to be honest with you, at least from North America. That's something I completely understand and completely believe in with all my heart. I've been dealing with the travel advisors for over 13 years, talking about these things. They know their clients, they know their travelers. We don't. The tour operator, they usually don't as well. They just book you. They do logistics, to be honest with you. So you're the curator of a traveler, of a travel itinerary and a tour. Why I say that the responsibility is on you for sustainability, and it's not necessarily just putting that responsibility on you, but kind of giving you homework, is that when you talk to your traveler, if you tell them that there is this social enterprise that's nearby to Jerash, instead of going to one of the tourist restaurants that have giant tables and have a big buffet and all the nice things that you want, and the kebabs and the hummus and all that good stuff, right? Everybody wants to do that. They sell, right? These are easy experiences to go on. But I think easy is not always the best. I think when you just take a little detour and you go into a local community and you have a local experience, just sitting there and weaving a basket with some of them, weaving your own basket, taking it home with you, having a conversation with the local women cooperatives and like with the local women from there, going to the Meaningful Travel Map and looking at that, right? And Meaningful Travel Map is just the beginning. I'm not trying to say that that's it. It's just the beginning. It's just part of what we wanted to do. It was just the spark that we wanted to have, so we could all understand that that's actually the future of travel. So going back to sustainability, I'm not claiming that we're an environmentally friendly destination and all these great things. No, we are a wonderful destination that has lots of challenges. One of them is people are unemployed because of the pandemic and because our economy relies heavily on travel and tourism. And by going now, and if you're just going back to the regular experiences, you're not spreading the marketing, travel dollars and the wealth. We're not spreading it around into those local communities, and we're forcing people to abandon their homes and their culture and their craft. And I think by sending them around, it's a win-win. It's a win-win-win, 3 of them actually, because you win as a travel advisor because you're going to look like a rock star by sending them over to have these experiences, feel like you're immersed in that experience, feel the destination, breathe the air, talk to the people, eat the food. And then number 2 is you're benefiting those local communities. And number 3, the economy in Jordan and the tourism itself that comes to Jordan and the travel that comes to Jordan is a sustainable, it comes in a sustainable manner. So we're just trying. And this is just one step. We don't claim like we're rock stars and we have a meaningful travel map. It's just a marketing thing that we did to showcase what is in there. And the reception was huge. So I urge not just the travel advisors, but I urge the other destinations to try to do some initiatives like that. It doesn't take much time or work. It's just package it up. Make the travel advisor aware of what you have so the travel advisor can give it. And the last piece here is the research shows that when the meaningful travel experience is offered to the traveler, they're going to book it, but they don't know about it. So when the travel advisor knows about it, and then the travel advisor talks about it or offers it, throws it in that itinerary, then it will be booked. And imagine how much benefit those local communities will have. So again, we're coming back. We want you to bring yourselves and your clients back to Jordan, but let's do it sustainably. If anything, anything we learned in the last, 12 plus months is that we gotta start thinking positively and responsible. We gotta be responsible for what we do. Not to make it a hard job. It's actually the opposite. It's to make it more meaningful and more rewarding for everybody. Just doing this for good. So travel for good.
I think that's a great point. And I think really I've always kind of like hung my hat on saying, like there's no amount of advertising that's going to bring this industry back. It is social proof. It is showing people how easy things are showing. And you're in the best business in the world. You're in the most visual business. You have such a gift. So go to Jordan, go everywhere, take the photos, stream, on your video, and make sure that you're sharing with people how things are, down to just even getting into the country, to meeting the people, shaking hands, tasting food and all of that. And it does come through more than any email marketing could ever do and more than any banner ads could ever do. You've got to really show your emotion. We've got a question here, very specific. Someone is coming with a group after Egypt, and they're planning on staying at Sun City Camp, who was told that was the only place to stay and experience Wadi Rum. And your thoughts?
It's not the only place to stay.
But it will be helpful. Helpful to people planning.
No, it's not the only place to stay. That's number 1. But I've stayed there myself and I absolutely loved it. But all the different camps. So just so everybody understands, Wadi Rum has got a lot of lodging options. So you have anywhere from rugged all the way to ultra luxury, bespoke experiences. And what the craze in Wadi Rum is they call them the bubble tents or the Martian tents. Or the 360 view tents. So what's nice about it is you get to see the stars at night when you're sleeping in your bed. Some of them are, again, rugged, a little primitive, shared bathrooms and stuff like that. And it's great. These were also great. It's about the desert. But if you want a little bit more of a bespoke experience, a little bit more high end, you would go to higher end properties. I would rank Sun City at the 4 to 5 star. So that's probably why people have a great experience there. I mean, you have a beautiful shower, hot water, and everything in your actual tent, in your bubble tent. And you have amazing views, and you have a bonfire at night, and great food, and dancing and music, and all the great stuff, and 4-wheel driving out in the desert, and it's amazing. Wadi Rum is my favorite place in Jordan. So, but yeah, Sun City is a great property, but it's obviously not the only option. So I would definitely recommend that you look around, but Sun City is an excellent property.
Fantastic. And then we got a question about any new product or updated product. Has any hotel used this time that you're aware of to refresh or to change anything and have new properties come online, or are there new properties coming on in the future?
Yeah, so what happened is we had a boom in travel between 2017 and 19, and we had added a bunch of properties. So, and many of you probably haven't heard of them. So The ones I'm going to mention are the ones that opened within the last 3 years, and they're number one is a St. Regis in Amman, beautiful property, very high end and luxurious property. The Fairmont Amman as well, just down the street from the other hotel, is also a relatively new hotel. The Ritz-Carlton will be opening soon as well, also in Amman. And you could tell it's a lot of 5-star because there's a lot of luxury travel coming into Jordan. It's one of the fastest growing segments of travel to the country. And then you have in Saraya in Aqaba, we have a luxury collection called Al Manara, luxury collection property out there. There's also a Hyatt in Aqaba by the Red Sea as well, in the Isla Oasis. In the Isla property. It's a Hyatt. It's a beautiful property as well. There is more, and I can't remember, but there's so much that has happened. Petra's done a lot of, there's a few hotels that open in Petra as well. That was an issue in the past where you can't find rooms in the Petra area. But understand that development in an area such as Petra and the surrounding area that has a lot of history, everywhere where you dig, you find history, and you're like, oh my God, I can't build a hotel here. So that's one of the issues. But we
to have. It's kind of a cool problem.
it's a cool problem to have, yeah. But I can tell a lot of travel advisors here that I know of that will come back and say, my God, I can't find rooms. That was an issue that we had in 2019. And honestly, to be honest with you all, again, this is why I'm here, just to talk, just talk honesty, is we foresee that coming up as well. So there's a lot of bookings coming specifically for the spring of 2022. A lot of things are booked. A lot of things are getting overbooked as well. So if you have people that are trying to come to Jordan and they're thinking about it, I would recommend that you secure some of those rooms, especially in Wadi Rum and Petra. Those are the two that have. Amman, you'll not have a problem finding rooms. There's plenty of hotels and plenty of room nights. But in Wadi Rum and in Petra, you might find a little difficulty finding bookings. But there are a couple hotels that are opening up, I think, soon in Petra as well. We will. If you're on our database as well, if you want to be on our database, please send me an email and I can add you. We do these updates all the time. I don't send long emails. I just send here, by the way, here is a link to the new property, and that's it. And I'm like, regards, Omar, right? Like I understand what the travel advisor needs. It's not about all these like big HTML emails. I don't believe in those. But yeah.
That's perfect.
Tulungan mo nga ako mag-invest.
Let me just mute whoever's speaking very quickly. All right, so we get a lot of questions, I'm sure you do, about Jordan's in a very precarious location. So talk to us about the safety, because it is a very stable and safe country, but just address that, because we've gotten quite a few DM questions on that.
Let's address that.
Yeah.
By not addressing it. No, I honestly, let me give you my take on this, right? I've been doing this a long time. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I feel safer in Jordan than I do in some parts of Washington, D.C. And if you've been to Washington, D.C. yourself, you would understand exactly what I mean. So, I mean, you got to be vigilant,
the best answer
right?
I've ever heard.
No, but that's the thing.
Never look inward, right? We never do. We never look inward.
So you know what I mean? So that's kind of what it is. It's actually very simple. When you're in the Middle East, right? Those that phrase, the Middle East, all these things. It's just a media, painting us all with one brush, and sometimes forgetting about the good people of Jordan and what's happening. We're just a normal country that has normal issues. Like, we have people that don't have jobs and they need to get jobs, and we have traffic jams, and we have, people want to take their kids to school and they want to get there in time, and they want to go buy groceries in time, and that's our life in Jordan. And you got to be vigilant when you're out and about, just the same vigilance that you exercise living in Cincinnati or living in California and in Los Angeles and anywhere. Just be vigilant, take precautions, make sure that you are you're okay. Don't walk in a dark alley. by yourself.
Right. Just
That's
things
just
you would not do
just
normally at home. I know. And we
exactly things you don't do normally at home, don't do in Jordan or any other destination. But anything specific, there isn't anything, and you'll get travel warnings and travel advisories. You'll get all these things. If there's something really happening, you will see it on the news. And if you do, don't go. And if there's nothing on the news or you don't feel, just go to Jordan. There's nothing. I go all the time, and I haven't been in a while. I can admit to that, but I'm looking forward to go in a couple months, and it's going to be wonderful. So Jordan is that place. You want to meet the people. You want to talk to them. You want to stop by and ask somebody, where is this place? I'm lost. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? Follow me. And they'll drive and show you around. Like, people there are very generous with their time, with their tea, a lot of tea. They're gonna like shove so many cups of tea in your face. Be like, hey, have some tea, have some tea. Come have some coffee with us. People are very welcoming. People are very natural, normal. It's like small town America. Think about small town America. When you wake up in the morning and your neighbor comes by and brings a hot pie, brings it over and says, oh, I made a couple of pies. This is for you. We still live like that. And it's a big city in Amman. Like, I grew up in Amman, in the capital. It's a big metropolitan city, but you go there and you still live the same way. My parents live in a building, and they know all their neighbors, all of them, and they hang out with all of them. And if they don't have sugar or flour and they're making a cake, they'll knock on the door and say, hey, you got some flour? I ran out. And it's just easy stuff. It's like it's a different type of society. Think small town America and how that vibe you get from it. This is what the vibe you get in all of Jordan. It's like,
that's what we all need, because we've been so disconnected for so long. Somebody's asking how the vaccine rollout is going in Jordan. Can you comment on that?
Yes, it's great. We have, don't quote me on the numbers, but I think we had about 500 or 600,000 people that have been fully vaccinated, but we have over 2.5 million that are registered to get their vaccinations, and the vaccinations are going very, very smooth. And the numbers in Jordan went down significantly. We had a wave a few months back that was pretty bad. I mean, considering how small our country is, right? Like, the whole population of Jordan is 10 million. So that can give you an idea. But things are normal. The vaccinations are, people were a little hesitant, as other places. But now we see huge, there's more demand than actual vaccines available. So, which is huge, because at some point we had more vaccines than people wanted to get vaccinated. So things have changed. And I think people got excited because the government was saying things like, all right, down the line, if you don't want to take the vaccine, you're not going to be able to enjoy all these benefits of vaccinated people. So everybody jumped on that. So we're going to be vaccinated, all of us in Jordan, very soon. So yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. We're doing great, just like how the US is doing. I mean, it's really turned around to be great. And we're praying for our friends in Canada for all these vaccinations to roll out. Some really good news coming out of Canada soon. So very, very proud of the Canadians as well, and hoping we'll all get vaccinated.
It just seems to happen all the time. That's great. All right, someone's yeah, well, we're gonna wrap up in just a minute too. Of course, I've gotten 25 million questions. Is there a FAM on the horizon? So I'll let you answer that, Sarah.
That is the question that I've been receiving a lot, and the answer to that is no and yes. So not now. I think I'm just going to be honest with everybody here. We're just getting back into the scene with our marketing, with content creation, attending conferences, and just assessing the market, trying to get some travel back into Jordan, managing that piece of the business to ensure that people go back and that we have some travelers coming into the country. Once we feel that we're comfortable, then we will be working on not just one, maybe more than one FAM coming up. I don't see it happening until next year. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that for possibly March, April of next year. So, but I will let everybody know in advance. I do have a lot of you on our database, and if you're not, please join us, and I will be letting you know. I have a huge list of people that are interested, and the other thing I wanted to share is we're working with tour operators so they can start offering fan trips as well. And I think that's what's going to happen in the short term, but then a destination sponsored fan trip will be something that is going to be in the works. But when the time is right, we want to take you when the time is right. So we can go in and see, and also, you know, we're working on some things on the ground we want to show you guys as well, some updates and upgrades, especially in the Petra site, some exciting news coming up I can't talk about right now yet. But, you know, there's a lot of great news coming from Jordan soon. And I think when the time is right, we'd love to take you all down to Jordan and show you all the wonderful things we have.
No, that's great. And in the meantime, just a reminder, I'll do Omar's job for him. Jordan is open. So it means you can visit anytime on your own. So I am sure that the hotel product would be more than hospitable if you probably just reach out or connect with a great DMC who might be able to help you at least put together an agent, you know, sort of net rate industry type of on your own.
Absolutely.
Thing. But it is a really, really good, you know, a great time to visit. So yeah, Omar, drop your email in the chat, getting lots of queries. And then I'm going to put you on the spot here too, as far as just one more question, because we have gotten a lot of them with regards to DMCs. I know you have a lot of them. Is there perhaps a resource on your site, you know, that would give people some recommendations, or what do you recommend when somebody does need, are they grouped by niche, or how can somebody find more about that? Should they connect with you?
So this is what I would say. So I just dropped my email in the box, but let me find a link. So what I say is this. Now, as a tourism board, we have members, and those members actually pay dues every year for them to be part of the Jordan Tourism Board. So they actually help us market the destination. So what we do is, that's just one of those things that we have to be very careful about and be fair to everybody. So we have a list, and I'm just looking it up right now to try to put that in the chat. And what's great about it is that it has all our members that are vetted tour operators and travel providers. And those are...
Are you listening to class right now? Your last class of the year?
Sorry, I don't know what was that. Okay, so tour operators, here they are. Okay, so here's a link, and I'm sharing it right now. And that link is, okay, where are you guys? Here we go. So this link has a list of all the Jordanian operators that are members of the Jordan Tourism Board. But I want to take a step back and say, if you're a member of a consortia or an organization or a association, look for your respective Jordanian operators. So if you're with Virtuoso, Ensemble, Signature, and so forth, I highly recommend, or with ATTA or with USDOA, if you're affiliated with anybody, if you want to look those up, those are usually the ones that are involved with those associations or consortiums. They are heavily invested in the North America market. So you would know that that operator is someone that is invested in this market and is willing to work with you, understands what the North American traveler needs on the ground. So that would be my recommendation, how you can narrow it down. And also, honestly, guys, talk to your friends. I'm sure, I mean, travel advisors book a lot of Jordan, and we get most of the bookings to Jordan actually come from, the majority come from the travel advisors, not from Expedia, guys. And that's something you need to understand. Jordan is not a destination that you just go, like, if you just want to fly to London for a weekend and come back. You don't necessarily need a travel advisor, but you can go to Jordan, you do need one. So talk to your friends. If you're part of an agency, talk to your Middle East expert or somebody that's been to Jordan. And yeah, word of mouth is actually better than me, to be honest with you. Your colleagues will give you better advice than I can. I don't book with these operators. I know they're good. I know they're great companies, but it's really up to you. And it's also up to the reviews and people. So I leave that in your hands. But all I can do is that link that was just shared. All the ones that are listed are companies that are accredited by the Ministry of Tourism. that were handpicked and they pay us dues. So they're invested in the North America market in terms of marketing Jordan as a destination.
Amazing. This has been so chock full of great help. And we're going to do this again because this has been so nice and the chat is on fire and I love that. So that's really what
I would love to. Anytime, Gabriela.
Awesome.
Anything for the travel advisors and anything for you.
Oh, well, thank you. And likewise, this has been great. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership.
Sure,
so I'm very happy. This is excellent.
For sure. We have to work together to make things happen. You know, we got to all bond together. So this is the time to continue to communicate. Let's talk. Any question, anything you guys need, reach out. And if I don't get back to you immediately, it's just because I have 100 others that I'm trying to get back to. But just wait for me a little bit and I'll get back to you. And I'm here to help out. We'll do everything we can. Let's all huddle, make this happen. And the light that's at the end of the tunnel, I see it clearly. And I hope you guys do.
Absolutely. And I see a lot of you just before we say goodbye, asking for that link to the DMC. For some reason, Omar, that didn't come through, but you and I will talk offline. And what I'll do is I'll email everybody that RSVP'd and I will share that link with them.
It is, I'm going to share it one more time.
You have the full contact info and that link as well. So not to worry. We will make sure that we follow up with an email on that.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for joining. Thanks for spending your time. And hopefully everybody will get to Jordan and be able to report back themselves. So let's
for sure
see what happens. All right. Have a great day. And guys, keep strong.
You too.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you, everybody. Thank you, Gabriela.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Omar.